Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for an album review, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, The Heist. Macklemore and Ryan Lewis are a Seattle-based hip-hop duo. This is their new full-length LP and easily one of my most anticipated rap albums of this year. Between the Versus EP that they put together and some of the singles that Macklemore and Ryan Lewis had collaborated on prior to this album, I mean, so excited. In 2011, when they put out the track Wings and had a music video for it, I mean, one of my favorite rap songs of the past few years and my favorite music video of that year. It's a track that lyrically delves into the pressures of fashion and sneaker culture. Everything from how much the sneakers cost to people actually getting killed over them. And with the production on the track, the heavy beat, the strings, the horns, the piano, the kid chorus singing on the hook, it's a really powerful song. The live instrumentation on that track and a lot of tracks on this LP actually takes, the tunes here to like the next level. I also love the single Same Love that they dropped, which lyrically delves into homophobia, gay rights, religion, stereotypes, and misconceptions. The track's got some nice piano in the beat and a beautiful hook from Mary Lambert. I mean, easily, in my opinion, hip-hop's most passionate song on this topic. And if there's one word you can kind of sum Macklemore up with, it is passionate. I mean, he raps with so much conviction on almost every song that he's on, and sometimes it's almost to a fault. Macklemore does tend to get a little overly emotional on some of the songs here, and it's almost as if nothing strikes him as being sappy or overly sentimental. And, yeah, you could even say corny. Macklemore can be corny. And yeah, it can really ruin some songs on here for some people, I'm sure, but it also makes him eager to rap about topics rappers normally wouldn't rap about, or even be a little bit more vulnerable than your average rapper too. That's true for the tracks Wings and Same Love, and it's true for the song Thrift Shop too, which is kind of a party track, like an attack on fashion, an attack on trends and really expensive clothes with a catchy ass hook. The beat's got a nice groove to it, and it's even got this like funky little horn sample that's totally like straight out of Let Me Clear My Throat or something like that. That's what it's shooting for, in my opinion. And I like that Macklemore can basically make a fun, upbeat track that is catchy, that is charismatic, but also is aware. The tracks Neon Cathedral and Starting Over are really vulnerable tracks, personal tracks about addiction and alcoholism. Maybe the former of the two is a little bit too dramatic for my taste, with Macklemore rapping directly to the bartender. But the second of the two songs, that sincerity again is there, and it's an amazing track. I mean, I love the instrumental on there. I like that basically the content of the song says that, kicking a drug habit is not as easy as it seems, and also goes into the details of how a relapse may affect your personal life and the people around you. The track Make the Money has this great story about, sticking to your guns, being yourself, making money being you. Don't change for the industry or don't change for a paycheck. I mean, every track is told with detail. There are some quotables, there are funny lines, there are moments of poignancy as well. I mean, Macklemore is an impressive lyricist on nearly every one of these tracks. He has a great flow on nearly every one of these tracks, and I could really praise almost every single song here for having a story, having a concept, and really being clear and following through. However, the fact that he does that and what the content actually is doesn't always appeal to me, like the song Thin Line, where I do think Macklemore does overstep that boundary of being emotional, where he kind of details this crumbling relationship, wanting to jump back into it because maybe it seems like there's nothing else better to do, or, hey, this is us, this is our best option, we've got to make this work. And Buffalo Madonna drops what is easily the worst and most amateurly written verse on the entire album. It's so short, I don't even know why it's here. And the track Whitewalls, Macklemore is kind of rapping about, tricking out a Cadillac and how backpack is that. And it just seems so out of place on this album. It seems like he just threw it in there to, not be beating people down too much with a message throughout the entire LP. And Schoolboy Q actually has a guest verse on this song, and he feels even more out of place than the song itself. Plus, the ultra poppy beat on this track is just outright obnoxious. And to me, overall, that's where this LP kind of fails to me, with some of the instrumentals. And when this album fails with an instrumental, it fails hard. It's like a face plant into the cement, teeth are smashed, nose is broken, like the track Gold. What is happening here? I like the message. I think Macklemore is pretty funny on this track, especially with the shot at the Golden Girls toward the end of the track. Well, not a shot, but just a reference to. And the part where he's sort of kicking over the kiosk in the mall. But the instrumental on this thing sounds like something, I don't know, Miley Cyrus would be on. Sounds like a Radio Disney song, which is maybe something the track intended to mock, but I don't think directly copying is the same thing as mocking. And there are some hooks on here that to me sound exactly like just overly flowery and dramatic hooks with guest singers with very clean voices that would strike me as something that I would hear on like a Shady Records release, like the opening track or the song Awake. The track Make the Money has a really, really strong Kanye vibe to it. Like something straight off of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, except maybe not as, impressive. And Can't Hold Us has kind of like an electronically, and the track Bomb Bomb, which lands right in the middle of this LP, is an instrumental. It's just not that amazing to listen to. The sounds are pretty, but there's just really no momentum to it. There's not like one spot at which I felt myself bobbing my head to it. And there's a spot where some horns just kind of swell in all of a sudden, playing a phrase, and it feels like they're synthesizer horns. They just have this really kind of flat, unpleasing quality to them. Even the closing track on here has a kind of country twang to it with a banjo licked chorus that has these big group vocals on it singing about Capitol Hill and PBR. And Macklemore actually kind of raps at a few points on this song with a flow as if we were listening to an old school country song where you have the singer, kind of having one of these narrative moments where he's not so much singing as just kind of telling the story so far, just really kind of giving an inner monologue or some perspective on what he's singing about. It's a clever idea and one that could have gone over terribly, but actually sounds pretty decent on this album. Much better than a track like Gold, instrumentally. So while there are great lyrics on here and just well-intentioned stories and topics, I don't get why Macklemore and Ryan Lewis on a good handful of the tracks here dumb things down instrumentally. I'm feeling a light to decent 7 on this LP. What did you think of it if you've given it a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And what should I review next? Anthony Fantano, Macklemore, forever.